होमवर्क था कुछ नहीं ना होमवर्क था क्या कुछ राइट द नेक्स्ट राइटिंग गाइस ओवर टाइम प्रीमियम now we already know guys what is overtime. What we are doing now is the accounting treatment for overtime premium. If the normal wage rate, let's say guys, is about 20 rupees per hour, but during overtime the organization is paying a wage of 30 rupees, the additional 10 rupees that is being paid is called as overtime premium. Premium is not the same as overtime wage, only the additional amount that you are paying will be your overtime premium. This will be your overtime wages minus the amount of normal wages. If a company plans their labor requirement properly, the amount of overtime premium is something that can be avoided. Let's say that a company needs about 20,000 hours of work, but the number of employees that they have hired would meet up a requirement of only 18,000 hours. That is why the company had to work overtime for about 2,000 hours. So for these 18,000 hours, let's say that the company paid a salary of 20 rupees. For these 2,000 hours, let's say that they've paid 35 rupees as an example. So the total amount of wages that they have paid is 3,60,000 and this is 70,000. That will become 4,30,000 rupees. If they would have planned their requirement properly, they could have hired more number of people and the total amount of wages that they would have incurred would have been 20,000 hours multiplied by 20 rupees, 4 lakhs. Because of incorrect planning, they are incurring an additional amount of how much? That is nothing but 2,000 hours multiplied by 15 rupees. There is no way that you avoid paying 20 rupees per hour, but you can avoid paying that extra 15 rupees per hour. So the question arises, how are we supposed to treat this 15 rupees that we are paying additionally in the books of accounts? Should it be included in the cost of the product that is being manufactured? Should it be transferred to P&L account? Should it be considered as an overhead? पहले समझ में आ रहा है क्या डिस्कस करना चाह रहा हूँ? Yes or no? The treatment is not for overtime wages. What we are learning here beta is the accounting treatment for overtime premium. Only the additional amount of wages that we are paying. Now, Sujal, what do you think should be the treatment of this extra 30,000? It should be included in product cost. Let's say guys that there are two products manufactured, product X and product Y. Product X subah mein kara tha, so there were 8 hours spent during normal working hours. Product Y was manufactured during overtime hours. We spent 4 hours on product Y during overtime. So according to you, the wage allocation for product X should be 8 hours multiplied by 20 rupees and for Y it should be 35 rupees. Are you getting the point? Should we include overtime premium in the cost allocation? The answer to that will depend on, first, why are we incurring overtime? There can be instances where overtime is done throughout the year as a matter of production policy. Why will organizations want to work overtime? Is because they do not have sufficient machining capacities. It is not that they cannot hire more people, it is that they cannot buy more machineries. The only way of increasing output is by increasing the number of hours. But instead of having one extra shift of employees, why are they working overtime? One extra shift might cost them even more rather than working only for a couple of hours. See, there are multiple ways of increasing output. Either an organization buys more machineries. If you buy more machinery, you employ more people, the output automatically increases. Or you work for more number of shifts. More number of shifts would be beneficial if the output is actually so high. because each shift would be for 8 hours. If you want to work for a double shift, a साथ बेटा work for 16 hours a day, the output also should be significantly higher. Otherwise guys, you might ask your existing employees only to work just for a couple of extra hours, and that is where you will incur overtime. So if overtime is on account of production policy, when will it be as a part of production policy? Either you cannot hire more workers or you cannot buy more machineries. Some reason you do not want to increase the number of workers. If that is the case, Asad beta, then overtime premium will be adjusted to the cost of all the products that are manufactured. The wages that we are incurring is 4,30,000. This is effectively for how many hours? 20,000 hours. 4,30,000 divided by 20,000 hours. 21.5. Our effective wage rate per hour will become 21.5. Now whenever any product is being manufactured guys, wages will be allocated to every job. Doesn't matter whether the product was manufactured during normal working hours or whether the product was being manufactured during overtime hours. Every product will be given a wage allocation at the rate of 21.5. So if X was manufactured during normal hours, you will write 8 hours multiplied by 21.5. If Y was manufactured during overtime hours, even then the answer is 21.5. It would be incorrect to allocate a higher amount guys to product Y and allocate a lower amount to product X. समझ में आया? When will you do this? When overtime is being done as a matter of production policy throughout the year. What do we do here? We include overtime premium guys in the computation of the effective wage rate per hour. It is automatically included in the computation of wage rate, and that will get allocated to all the products. Are we clear? What if overtime is on account of defective planning of the organization? You could have hired more number of employees, but you failed to correctly assess the labor requirement, and that is why you have to ask your existing employees to work overtime. Then guys, you directly transfer that to P&L account, or few cases better it is considered as overheads. But normally better the principle is that it is an abnormal expenditure now, transfer it to P&L account. Practically none of the organizations would want to transfer any manufacturing cost to P&L account. They would say we will include that as overheads, if not direct cost. Once it is included as overheads, it will normally get included as a part of overhead absorption rate. Are you getting the point? If that happens guys, every product will be allocated wages at the rate of only 20 rupees. वो overtime premium जो है, it is not getting included at all in the computation of wage rate. मतलब wage allocation के लिए you will only take 4 lakh rupees now. What will happen to that 30,000? Transfer it to overheads or transfer it to P&L account. So when you're not including that 30,000 in wage allocation, obviously wages will be allocated at the rate of 20 rupees per hour only guys, and not at the rate of 21.5. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? The first case where overhead is being done as a matter of production policy. The second case where overhead is on account of defective planning. This is where overhead or overtime premium as such beta will be considered as an abnormal expenditure and will be included in the amount of overheads, or will be included directly in P&L account. The third case guys, where overhead is on account of request of the customer. The customer comes in the last minute, tells us not to meditate, and then the customer tells us that instead of meditation, why don't you work overtime and manufacture a product? And just about when we're closing our eyes, Asad beta, sir talks about overtime. थोड़े बच्चों को ऐसे लग रहा है कि अभी लास्ट 2-3 दिन नहीं आए, वैसे भी ओवर लेबर नहीं मालूम है ना, तब सो जाएंगे बोल के. So guys, यहाँ पे when overhead is overtime as such beta is at the request of the customer, you include it in the cost of that specific customer. If it is on account of customer who has ordered product Y, you will allocate wages to product Y beta at the rate of 35 rupees directly. Whatever is the amount of overtime premium will be included in the cost of that respective customer's order only. समझ में आया नहीं आया? Here nothing will be included as overheads, nothing will be transferred to P&L because it is getting included in the cost of the specific product itself. Case 1, case 3, nothing is being transferred to overheads, nothing is being transferred to P&L account. It is only under case 2 as such beta that there is a part of the amount that is included as overheads, or there is a part of the amount that is transferred to P&L account. Are we all clear about this? Yes or no? समझ में आया? I repeat, we are not discussing the treatment of all the overtime wages, guys. We are only discussing the treatment of the amount of overtime premium. Any doubt in this? Are we all clear about this? Now, let's get an example. Total hours required 20,000. Total hours required 20,000. Normal wage rate per hour 20 rupees. Overtime wage rate per hour 35 rupees. This includes a normal rate of 20 and a premium of 15 rupees. There's a normal wage rate of 20 rupees and an overtime premium of 15 rupees. Case 1 beta. All 20,000 hours were normal working hours. Normal working hours. What would be the amount of wages? 20,000 multiplied by 20. How much will that be? 4 lakhs. All the 20,000 hours split up during normal working hours, so it will become 20,000 multiplied by 20, 4 lakh rupees. Case 2. 18,000 normal working hours. 2,000 overtime hours. 18,000 normal working hours and 2,000 overtime hours. What will be your wages now? It will be 18,000 multiplied by 20 plus 2,000 multiplied by 35. That will become 4 lakh 30,000. The additional payment on account of overtime is additional payment on account of overtime. It is not the amount of overtime wages, it will only be the amount of overtime premium. So for those 2,000 hours, we are paying a premium of 15 rupees. 2,000 multiplied by 15, guys, the additional payment will become 30,000. Additional amount being paid on account of overtime would be 2,000 hours multiplied by 15, and that is 30,000. अब उसके नीचे बेटा point 1. If overtime is on account of the defective planning, if overtime is on account of defective planning, overtime premium will be an abnormal expenditure. Overtime premium would be an abnormal expenditure. Overtime premium will be an abnormal expenditure. The company could have avoided the expenditure. The company could have avoided the expenditure. In such a case, overtime premium should not be included as employee cost. Overtime premium should not be included as employee cost. Overtime premium should not be included as employee cost. Instead, it will be transferred to P&L account. Instead, it will be transferred to P&L account. Instead, it will be transferred to P&L account or charged as overhead. Or charged as overhead. Or charged as overhead. ठीक है? So the effective wage rate per hour, guys, would be effective wage rate per hour. Though we are paying 4,30,000 beta, we will take only 4 lakhs over those 20,000 hours. That means it will remain at 20 rupees per hour. 20 rupees per hour. Let's say job X beta, on this we have worked for 8 normal hours. And then there is job Y on which we have worked for 8 overtime hours. What will be the wage allocation? Wage allocation kitna rahega, guys? It will still be 8 into 20. Second wala? Doesn't matter whether it is manufactured during overtime or normal working hours, guys. The allocation would still be same. 160 rupees. Because you're not including that overtime premium in the computation of employee cost. Our effective wage rate per hour, guys, is 20 rupees. On job X, you will write that it will be 8 multiplied by 20. Job Y also, guys, it will be 8 multiplied by 20. Second case, second point. If overtime is on account of, second point, guys, if overtime is on account of the production policy of the company, if overtime is on account of the production policy of the company, overtime is on account of the production policy of the company, production policy of the company, brackets mein, either there is a shortage of employees, either there is a shortage of employees, either there is a shortage of employees, or additional investment in equipments cannot be made. Additional investment in equipments cannot be made. Either there is a shortage of employees or additional investment in equipments cannot be made. Additional investment in equipments cannot be made. Brackets close. Done. In this case, overtime premium is an unavoidable expenditure. In this case, overtime premium is an unavoidable expenditure. Overtime premium is an unavoidable expenditure. In this case, overtime premium is an unavoidable expenditure. And hence, it is included in the computation of the effective wage rate. It is included in the computation of the effective wage rate. It is included in the computation of the effective wage rate. So अपना effective wage rate कितना हो जाएगा? It will be 4,30,000 divided by 20,000. That will be 21.5 per hour. What will be the wage allocation, guys? Job X को कितना करोगे? 8 hours multiplied by 21.5. Job Y, 8 hours into 20. अभी ऊपर में 8 लिखा था, शायद तो देखा नहीं. हाँ, कितना बेटा? 172. So the allocation of wages beta would be 172 rupees to all the jobs. Will there be anything included as overhead or will be transferred to P&L? No. Third point, guys. Third point. If overtime is at the request of a customer, if overtime is at the request of a customer, if overtime is at the request of a customer, the entire amount of overtime premium, the entire amount of overtime premium, the entire amount of overtime premium, the entire amount of overtime premium should be included, should be included, should be included in the cost of the specific work order only, in the cost of the specific work order only, in the cost of the specific work order only. Cost of the specific work order only. समझ में आ गया guys? Yes or no guys? That means बेटा जो भी jobs में अपन normal working hours पे कर रहे हैं, that will be charged wages at the rate of 20 rupees, and the work orders that were completed as such बेटा during overtime will be charged at the rate of 35 rupees. So यहाँ पे अपने केस में बेटा job X को कितना रहेगा allocation? 8 hours multiplied by 20. Job Y guys 8 hours but multiplied by 35 rupees. So this will be 280. This is 160. क्या हुआ रे हंस रहा तू? Are we all clear about this? Practical question would be based on these three cases. A theoretical question guys wherein they ask multiple cases as 1 mark bits, they will include other cases as well. So वो जो other cases है बेटा इसमें ये भी included है. This is relevant for only theory question. जैसे if they tell you what if it is due to a calamity बेटा like floods or earthquakes. मतलब there's a flood or there's an earthquake as such guys, and because of which the organization had to work overtime subsequently in order to meet the entire demand. Then guys overtime premium beta shall be charged to P&L account. Are we clear guys? By default यहाँ पे P&L, they do not even mention overheads. I want you guys to remember as it is, because if they give, they're going to give exact same cases, they're not going to change the cases as well. If it is at the request of a customer, already covered, ये भी आ चुका है. At a request of a customer guys क्या करोगे? Add to the cost of the specific job. कौन है यार पेन से खेल रहा है? Add to the cost of the specific job guys. If it is calamity हो गया, request of a customer हो गया ऐसा बेटा. हाँ, on account of a mistake of a specific department guys, mistake of a specific department, you are working overtime because let's say beta department X transfers output to department Y, on which department Y will have to undertake work. Department Y was waiting for work as such beta, but X is X, so there was a delay as such beta, and that is why department Y in order to meet the deadline had to work overtime. कौन overtime काम कर रहा है? किसके वजह से? Include overtime of department Y in the cost of department X. When I say cost beta, it will be included in the overheads of department X. Common sense? You will have to include whatever is the amount beta in the cost of department X. One more beta is due to some unexpected development, like you want to capture market and that is why you are manufacturing more, you can get additional orders. This will be included in overheads. Due to some unexpected development beta, additional market share के लिए. You will include the amount guys in overheads. In a factory, the basic wage rate is 10 rupees per hour and overtime rates are as follows. Before and after normal working hours, your overtime wage rate is 175% of the basic wage rate. On Sundays and holidays, it is 225% of basic wage rate. Remember, those are wage rates, those are not premiums. During the previous year, the following hours were worked. Normal time was 1 lakh. Overtime before and after working hours was 20,000. Overtime on Sundays and holidays was 5,000. Total 1,25,000. The following hours have been worked on job Z. Out of the above 1,20,000, 5,000 hours better. We spent 1,000 hours on job Z, normal working hours. 100 hours guys overtime before and after working hours, and 25 guys on Sundays and holidays. You are required to calculate the amount of labor cost that is chargeable to job Z and the amount of overhead in each of the following cases. What if it is worked regularly, what if it is worked irregularly, and what if it's at the request of the customer. I'll wait for a couple of minutes guys, you guys will try it in rough. It is exact copy of what I've just explained, nothing different, nothing new. When overtime is worked regularly guys, as a matter of production policy for the entire year, what is your effective wage rate per hour? 10.94. Wrong at 10.94. Manan kitna hai? 11.7 is the right answer guys. Guys, you do not compute effective wage rate per hour guys based on the amount of time you have spent on one job. You compute effective wage rate per hour based on wages of the entire organization. Agar job wise ही effective wage rate per hour करना है guys, whatever we have learned is all crap. मतलब you're telling me job X के लिए we will compute separate effective wage rate per hour, job Y के लिए we will compute separate effective wage rate per hour. Those 1,000 hours, 100 hours, 25 hours is the amount of time that you have spent on one job. That should not determine your effective wage rate per hour. Effective wage rate per hour should be based on the total number of hours that you have worked in the entire year. In the entire year, you have worked for 1,20,000 and 5,000 hours. That is what will decide what should be your effective wage rate per hour, and not this. So यहाँ पे अपना normal wage rate कितना है? Normal wage rate guys is 10 rupees. What is your overtime wage rate? Overtime ये wage rate है बेटा. Before and after normal hours, it is before and after normal hours 17.5, and Sundays and holidays beta it should be 22.5. So obviously this includes a premium of how much? 7.5. This includes a premium of, if you talk about the wages guys for the entire year, so in the first case guys, because it is as a matter of production policy due to labor shortage, production policy, what should I do guys? Overtime premium should be included in, should be include. सुन लो अभी, जब खुद के लिए ट्राई करने के लिए दे रहा था वो लिखते नहीं, जैसे मैं कुछ लिखना शुरू करता कॉपी करना शुरू कर देते हैं. No, you continue copying better. It's not funny anymore. I'll just ensure that you're not seen in the class next time. That's it. If you think it is fun, there's no point in sitting in my class. As far as the entire organization is concerned guys, they've given us the details of time, 1,20,000 and 5,000 hours. Are we clear? So wages guys would be normal working hours के लिए कितना है अभी? You will write 1 lakh multiplied by 10 rupees guys. For overtime के लिए बेटा you will write 20,000 multiplied by and 5,000 multiplied by, what are the total wages in the entire year? 14 lakhs 14,62,500. My effective wage rate per hour guys would be, this 14,62,500 will be divided by 1,25,000 hours, which is, please do not take only 1,125 into consideration guys. वो समझ में आया नहीं आया concept. And here guys, once you compute effective wage rate per hour, what will be the wages to be allocated to job Z now? Now you will take how many hours? 1,125. You will write 1,125 multiplied by 11.7. Doesn't matter whether the entire 1,125 are on overtime hours, Sundays, holidays. Doesn't make any difference. You simply multiply that 1,125 guys by 11.7. How much is that? Will there be any overhead or premium to be charged to P&L account? No premium guys to be charged as overhead or to be transferred to P&L account. To be charged as overhead. सेकेंड वाले में क्या बोल रहा है बेटा? इट इज ड्यू टू डिफेक्टिव प्लानिंग, यस और नो? Irregularly. If it is irregularly as such, guys, my effective wage rate per hour will only be equal to, my effective wage rate per hour is only equal to 10 rupees. Wages to be allocated to job Z कितना हो जाएगा? Again, we do not care whether those 11:25 hours were during normal hours or whether they were during overtime hours. We'll directly multiply by 10 rupees. It will become 11,250. Are we clear? Now comes overheads. Remember, this is only in respect of job Z, not for the entire organization. It will be कितना है job Z के details बोलो? 100 hours के लिए 7.5. This is overtime premium. And for those 25 hours, how much? 12.5. How much will that become? 10. Third one, better. Request of the customer. If it is at the request of the customer, what are we supposed to do? Wages, guys, of job Z would be, जो जिसका है उतना multiply करो. 1000 hours के लिए 10 rupees, 100 hours के लिए 17.5, 25 hours के लिए 22.5. How much will this become? 12,300 and again no overhead, because the entire amount of premium related to this is already being included in this job. Are we clear? At the next heading, guys, abnormal and normal idle time. I know that I've already covered it. एक छोटा लिखाना है बस, and then we'll move on to labor turnover. Abnormal idle time and normal idle time. क्या हुआ? Normal idle time, guys. Can you give me certain examples of normal idle time? Abnormal. Yes, guys. Lunch break is an example of normal idle time. Next, any other example? Huh? Factory gate, guys, to the place of work. Yes or no? क्या बेटा? Changing from? शादियों के फंक्शन नहीं है तुम्हारे, कपड़े चेंज कर रहे बोल के दिन भर बैठ के. Yes, guys. Time gap is such better between factory gate, guys, and the place of work. Huh? Next. Wait time, guys, between two jobs. These were the examples just such better that were given in the examination. I do not want to listen better. Huh? Setup time, guys. All of these are normal idle time. What should be the accounting treatment for normal idle time? Get a little serious, guys, now. Adjusted to the cost of the remaining good units. When I say adjusted to the cost of remaining good units, here we are going to adjust it to the cost of the remaining number of hours that we are working for. Yes or no, guys? They've divided this into two cases. What if normal idle time is in respect of direct workers? If it is in respect of direct workers, they say adjust it to either time per unit or rate per hour. Adjust to either time per unit or rate per hour. What we preferably do better is rate per hour. Every organization would adjust this only to rate per hour rather than adjusting it to time per unit. But the concept is very clear. It should be adjusted to the cost of the remaining good units. If it is in respect of indirect workers, even then, guys, it should be adjusted to the cost of remaining good units only, but it will get adjusted in overhead rate per hour. Any amount that you are paying, guys, to indirect workers, where will it get included? Overheads. So if there is normal loss of those indirect employees also, shouldn't that be included in the computation of overheads only? Yes or no? If an indirect worker, guys, is working for 160 hours effectively, but you're paying him for 200 hours, won't you take wages of the entire 200 hours and overheads amount? So it will automatically get adjusted, guys, in the amount of overhead rate per hour. इस सब एग्जाम में दे चुका है बेटा. He randomly gave cases like a direct worker was waiting between two jobs. What is the treatment of the amount of wages payable? You should write that this is normal idle time. It will get included in the computation of rate per hour because it's a direct worker. If it's an indirect worker, you're supposed to adjust it to overhead rate per hour. What if it is abnormal idle time? What will be the examples of abnormal idle time, guys? तालियां मारना. Yes, guys. Fire. ये डायरेक्ट आग लगा भाई तू. थोड़ा नॉर्मल लो ना यार. Yes, guys. If there's any breakdown of equipment, guys, if there are power cuts, if there are strikes by employee, better stock outs. These are the examples, guys, of abnormal idle time. If there is abnormal idle time, what are we supposed to do, guys? Transfer it to costing P&L account. Hi, Anna. यहाँ पे one extra thing that they teach us beta is divided into two parts called as controllable and uncontrollable. This is only for the purpose of control over the expenditure, guys. You should know what resulted in that idle time so that measures can be taken to avoid those idle times in the future. Are we clear about this? Just because it is controllable or uncontrollable beta, that does not mean it cannot be abnormal. Uncontrollable, just if there's any loss on account of natural calamities or such beta, won't that be uncontrollable? We have done this as avoidable and unavoidable. Same concept. ये समझ में आ रहा है? Very good. हो गया भाषण. Did we come across this word earlier? Labor turnover or employee turnover, guys, is basically the attrition of the employees. Employees leaving the organization, guys, and new employees joining the organization. Labor attrition, labor turnover is usually not good for any organization, guys. Usually many companies better would prefer having labor attrition at the lower level. They're like it's better only because freshers could be hired at lower pays as such better. It is better that the experienced people leave the organization. The ones who already have an experience of 2-3 years, let them quit, let them get the freshers at lower pay packages. They know that the work that is being performed does not demand high skills. If it does not demand high skills, there's no point in paying a higher amount of salary. So labor turnover or labor attrition is employees leaving the organization and new people joining the organization. The new joinees can also be on account of expansion of the organization. Not necessary that every new employee who joins an organization is only to replace an old position. It can also be because the entity is growing, and because the entity is growing as such, they need to hire more number of people. No one has a problem with people joining the organization on account of expansion. There's a problem only if people leave the organization and you have to frequently fill those positions. We are trying to measure how, there are two things as such better. One is the impact on profitability, which we have already done. If you recall, did we do questions on impact on profitability? Kal 1 lakh productive hours lost, 15,000 productive hours lost. There are certain ratios that we measure, guys. The first one is computing employee turnover by something called as separation method. Juda hona. Separation method, guys, considers two things. The employees who voluntarily leave the organization and the employees who are thrown out of the organization, who are discharged by the organization, guys. Both of them as such are considered under separation method. We are trying to compute what percentage of employees have either quit or were removed by the organization. That comes under separation method. अब भी एक्सप्लेनेशन स्टार्ट किया, तुम ब्रेक ना खोलो, वरना वो क्या होता है, इसका जब प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन करते हैं ना तब ब्रेक लेना पड़ता. अरे करेक्ट बोला ना. So number of employees, guys, who voluntarily leave. So basically who left the organization plus who are, the wording that they use better is discharged. We can say the ones who are thrown out. This will be expressed as a percentage of how many employees did we have in the organization. Instead of measuring it as a percentage of number of employees at the beginning of the year, we will measure it as a percentage of average number of employees. Can there be a change in the number of employees during the year? The opening number of employees as such beta may not match with closing number of employees. That is why we will express it as a percentage of average number of employees. Are we clear? जैसे 3 साल पहले one of the big fours ने, one of the big six as such beta had an attrition rate of only 66% at qualified level. That means out of every 100 CAs that were there at the firm as such beta, 66 of them left, quit the organization. This was due to toxic work culture or whatever reasons as such, guys. But okay. So that is separation method. Majorly when we talk about attrition rate, we talk about separation only, guys. After separation comes replacement. अगर कोई जा रहा है तो उसकी जगह कोई लेगा नहीं लेगा? यस और नो गाइस? जिंदगी भर थोड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अकेली बैठेगी. So guys, replacement method, guys, doesn't matter whether it's personal life or organization. जिंदगी के rules है बेटा. You may feel bad for 2 days, for a month, for 2 months as such, guys, but after that you have to realize life has to go on. Just because there was some skilled employee as such, beta, who did so much good for the organization. Yes, guys. So under replacement method, you take number of replacements. When I talk about number of replacements as such, guys, it is only those employees who fill in vacancies that were created on account of separations. Can the number of replacements be more than the number of separations? Yes. Just every possibility better that there's one employee who leaves the organization, but because the employee was so talented to complete the task that were done by that employee as such, better we need 2 or 3 new joinees. समझ में आ रहा है क्या बोल रहा हूँ guys? So number of replacements is only on account of vacancies that were created. And then guys, there is something called as accession method. Accession method takes total new joinees into consideration. It is not only replacements, it also takes new joinees on account of expansion. Though guys, it does not make much sense to measure accession in real life. वापस बोल रहा हूँ, the only ratio that everyone is concerned about is separation method. Separation में भी बेटा, they are not bothered about the number of employees who were discharged by the organization. They are more concerned about number of employees who have voluntarily left the organization. That is the only ratio that will affect the organizations, not the other ratios. So under accession method and replacement method, what is the difference? Under replacement, we take only the vacancies as such beta that were created on account of separations. Under accession method, guys, we take total new joinees into consideration. Are we clear about this? After accession replacement beta comes flux method. Flux method, guys, is a combination of the above. So you either write separations plus replacement ratio, guys, or you write separation plus accession ratio. Usually it is separation plus accession. If there's no details about new joinees on account of expansion, then it will be separation plus replacement. Organizations not only incur money when there are people who quit the organization, guys, they also incur money when they are replacing those jobs better with new employees. Are we clear about this? Yes or no? The whole objective of measuring these ratios, guys, is trying to ensure better how can they reduce the labor turnover. For this, there are 2 types of expenses that they can incur. One is preventive cost, the other one is remedial cost. What can be done post? When you say preventive cost as such beta, what do you understand by it? Expenses that an organization should incur, guys, in order to ensure that the labor turnover is as low as possible. Do this when the employees are still with the organization. These factors play a major role, guys. So if an organization is spending heavily as such beta on labor welfare, employee welfare, then automatically the attrition rate beta would be as low as possible. And that can be anything. It can be proper medical facilities, it can be proper educational facilities for the children of the employees of such beta, it can be transportation facilities, it can be food that is provided in the organization. So be measure rehne do. If there's proper welfare measures, guys, then automatically labor turnover would be as low as possible. Just a few organizations, just in Netflix, Lendo, LinkedIn, Lendo, they are known as such, guys, for their employee welfare practices. ये work from home अभी आया है. पहले, guys, they're like, we do not care whether you're sitting at home, whether you're sitting in the organization. All that matters is deliverable. जो तुम्हारा expected काम है, if that is done, you go do what you want to. You were supposed to work for 40 hours in a week, you finished your task in 15-20 hours only, and after that you're not reporting for work. We do not care about it. What is important is if the work was done. That's it. There are other organizations like that in Hyderabad also, but they're all MNCs ke branches only here. Indian corporates as such beta have a little different mindset. Matlab, the mindset is if a person is sitting idle as such beta, their blood is boiling. काम रहो नहीं रहो is secondary, guys. ये खाली कैसा बैठा मेरे को ये बोलो बोल के. So that mindset, guys, is something that doesn't let Indian organization grow by leaps and bounds. They have to change that mindset. Doesn't happen. The same mindset better in Indian audit firms also. काम रहो नहीं रहो secondary है. तो आके खाली क्यों बैठा बोल के. There's no work in the office. They still expect employees to directly come at 10 in the morning. Even if they come at 10:05, half day cut. But वो 10 o'clock आके करता क्या कुछ नहीं. वही मच्छर मारना है वहाँ बैठ के भी बोल के. So that is preventive cost. Replacement cost बेटा after that is all the expenses that you incur on account of labor turnover. ये पूरे अपने जो training cost थे guys, recruitment cost, all of that will come under replacement cost. Are we clear about this? What can be the causes for labor turnover, guys? They've divided the causes into two types: personal and unavoidable. हाँ, personal, unavoidable, avoidable. Personal क्या रह सकता? Unavoidable. अरे नहीं, तीन अलग कैटेगरी है रे बेवकूफो. क्या बोल रहा? Leaving voluntarily, correct, but why is he leaving voluntarily is the question. छोड़ रहा हूँ मतलब what is the reason? He wants to grow. Guys, if he wants to grow, this is something that has to do with the organization, guys, and not his personal reason. That means there are not better opportunities that are being provided to him, and he thinks that there will not be any growth in the existing job. Yeah, तुम लोग देख लो बेटा. Change of jobs for betterment, premature retirement due to ill health or old age, domestic problems, family responsibilities, guys, discontent over the jobs and working environment. Unavoidable causes में seasonal nature of business. Other day I was talking about how these Amazon and all better hire huge number of people. So if you have that seasonal nature of business, obviously you will have a very high attrition ratio. Shortage of raw material, and then there is slack. This is where the organization is only removing the employees. Change in plant location. If an organization is shifting their premises from one place to another place, they will obviously give an option to all the existing employees better that they can take up jobs in the new location. Majority of them may not be comfortable as such better to shift from one location to another. Disability, making a worker unfit for work. हो जाता है कुछ. Disciplinary measures. छेड़खानी करे ऑफिस में किसी के साथ, and that is why they have to let you go. They know that there are certain perverts also in the office. No, I'm not talking about you, beta. Huh? Oh my God. Guys. Avoidable causes, ये सब सुन लो एक second. They've given us low wages, lack of recreational and medical facilities, lack of training facilities, strained relationships with management, supervisors or fellow workers, dissatisfaction with job, remuneration, hours of work. All of these would come under avoidable causes. Majorly a practical question comes from this, that is on ratios. They will give us information, we will have to compute separation ratio, replacement ratio, accession ratio, or they give us ratios, guys, and we compute the missing figure as to how many employees left the organization. Write the formulas better now. Flux last में लिखाऊंगा. So separation, these are all labor turnover rates, but under different methods. Labor turnover rates, guys. Separation method में you will write number of separations divided by average number of employees. Number of separations divided by average number of employees. Replacement method में number of replacements divided by average number of employees. और क्या बोला था बेटा मैं? Accession. Total new joinees divided by, all of these values are to be written in percentages, guys. Total new joinees divided by average number of employees. ये तुम लोग into 100 लिख लो हर जगह. and then there was flux method, guys. Flux में क्या ऐड करना है? Either it is separation plus replacement or it is separation plus accession. Separation plus replacement or separation, guys, plus accession. The data given is for less than one period, matlab less than 1 year. We might have to compute something called as equivalent labor turnover rate. Equivalent labor turnover rate is annualizing the data that is given for period of less than 1 year. अगर जैसे वो 1 month का डिटेल देता है, you are going to write multiplied by 12 in order to compute your equivalent annual labor turnover rate. If the data given beta is for 30 days, you will write into 365 divided by 30. It will all depend on for what period is the information given. So this equivalent employee turnover rate will come into picture only if, so equivalent employee turnover rate beta will be annualized labor turnover rate, and this annualized labor or employee turnover rate, guys, would be whatever rate that you have computed. This is if the above data is for less than 1 year. Yeah, just side note beta pura. If the above data is for or is for less than 1 year. Are we clear about this, guys? समझ में आ रहा है बेटा प्रथम? जोर से बोल. सेलफोन है तेरे हाथ में? आजू बाजू किसी के हाथ में था? बोल दे ब्रेक में मेरे से आके मिलो बोल के. समझ में आया? समझ में आया नहीं आया देखो? So you will write, guys, whatever is the labor turnover rate that you have computed above. Preferably this calculation should be done in days. If data is not given in days, only then you're going to write it in months. So I'll write into 365 by x. But if information is not in, just if they tell me beta that information as on 1st December and 31st December is so much, so you know exactly 31 days ka information hai abhi. So I'll write into 365 divided by 31. But if they just tell me beta that the data is for a month, then I will write into 12 months divided by 1 month. Preferable क्या रहेगा, guys? Days. If the dates are specified. This is how you're going to compute equivalent employee turnover rate. Are we clear about this? Yes or no, guys? समझ में आ गया सबको? Make a note of it, guys. Average number of employees लिख लो बेटा. कैसे करोगे? Opening plus closing by 2. And if there is values not given beta, how will you establish a relation between opening and closing? तुम्हारे opening number of employees minus all the separations, that is the people who voluntarily leave or are discharged by the organization, plus all the new joinees. This new joinees will be on account of both expansion as well as replacement. This should give us what? Closing number of employees. Whatever is your opening number of employees, from that you're going to deduct separations and then add new joinees, and that will give us closing number of employees. All of you guys, question number 28. If they give a question on labor turnover rates in the examination, guys, they're giving you free marks. बहुत simple है. Following information is given of a newly set up organization for the year ending on 31st of March 2021. Number of workers replaced during the period 50. Number of workers who have left and discharged during the period were 25. Average number of workers, guys, are 500. You're required to compute employee turnover rates using separation method and flux method. You can do separation, replacement as well as flux. Also, what would be the equivalent employee turnover rates if the information given above, if it is given that the organization was set up only on 31st Jan. If the organization was set up only on 31st Jan, that means the above information is only for 60 days. 28 days of Feb, 31 days guys of March plus 1 day of that Jan. If the above data is only for 60 days, you will have to proportionately compute it for the entire year into 365 divided by 60. वो बाजू में ही कर देंगे, rather than doing it separately as साथ बेटा बाजू में ही लिखेंगे. वो समझ में आ रहा है क्या बोल रहा हूँ? So first bit guys and second bit. Second bit में I'm writing 31st Jan 2021 to 31st March 2021. This will be for how many days? 60 days. The first one beta, labor turnover rates. Separation method. It will be the number of employees left and discharged divided by, ये सबको समझ में आया ना, average number of employees multiplied by 100. How many employees left? 25. Average 500. So this percentage beta will become 5%. So answer to the first bit beta is that it is for the entire year. Second bit, if this information is only for 60 days, what will be the answer? 365 divided by 60, 2 decimal points max, 30.416, that is 42%. So under separation method, your labor employee turnover rate will become 30.42% if this data is for less than 1 year. Abul. Equivalent employee turnover rate. This information, if it is for only 60 days, 60 days के लिए अगर 5% है तो per year कितना हुआ? If the information given is for, you are annualizing the rate guys. It's like writing if it is 1% per month, it is 12% per annum. So if it is 5% for 60 days, how much is for 365 days? The answer beta would be 30.42, assuming the same trend continues throughout the entire year. Now, I know that they did not ask replacement method, finish of replacement also, and then we will do flux. Replacement method में क्या लिखोगे guys? Number of replacements divided by average number of employees into 100. $50 divided by 500 into 100. Answer is, what will be the equivalent labor employee turnover rate? Into 365 divided by 60. कितना बोल रहे हो? 60.83%. And finally बेटा कौन सा मेथड है? फ्लक्स. सॉरी एक्सेशन नहीं है ना यहाँ पे डेटा. हाँ, you'll directly write 5% beta plus 10%, that is 15%. And this beta would be 15% into 365 divided by 60, then that is 91.25%. Under separation method it is 5%, under replacement method it is 10%, and under flux method guys it is 15%. First bit. Next beta, the rate of change of labor force in a company during the year ending on 31st March was calculated as 13, 8 and 5%. Under flux method, replacement method and separation method. Number of workers who separated during the year are 40. So this will become 40 divided by 5% guys, 20 times 800. The number of replacements during the year will be 800 multiplied by 8%, that is 64. Number of new accessions also will be 64. 8% plus 5% perfectly matches with 13%. That means all new joinees will only be on account of replacements. There are no new joinees on account of expansion. Even if you use the formula guys, you're going to get accession rate as 8% only. That means the total number of employees would remain at 64. They're not going to change. Number of workers at the beginning of the year guys. If there are X workers at the beginning of the year, we have 64 new joinees. We have 44 separations guys. The closing number of workers should be X plus 24. An average of X and X plus 24 is equal to 800. You will get the value of X. all you have to do beta is take the opening number of workers as x. X plus 64 minus 40 will give us the closing number of workers, x plus 24. Once we get that x plus 24, guys, you're going to take an average of x and x plus 24 to get average number of workers, equate that, and you will get the value of x. So the value of x beta is 788. There will be 788 employees at the beginning of the year. Are we all clear about this? Yes or no, guys? Next beta, question number 33. 33rd question, guys. The information regarding the number of employees on roll in a shopping mall for the month of December 2017 are given below. We have 900 employees at the beginning of the month and 1100 employees at the end of the month. During December 2017, 40 employees resigned and 60 were discharged. So 40 resignations, guys, plus 60 discharges. So how many separations? 100 separations. 60 plus 40. 300 employees were recruited during the month. Out of these 300 employees, 225 were on account of expansion project and the rest were recruited due to exit of employees. So out of 300 beta, replacements are 75 and new joinees on account of expansion are 225. You just have to compute those ratios. Finish it off, guys. If you're already done with it, do not shout the answers. Average number of employees beta will be 900 plus 1100 divided by 2. So you will have 1000 employees. Now in those 1000 employees, the question says that number of separations kitne? Number of separations are left and discharged. So 40 plus 60, 100. Ho gaya tum log ka ye? How many of you are done with this question? So the number of separations, guys, would be 40 plus 60, 100. What are the total number of new joinees? The total number of new joinees beta are 300. Out of this new joinees of 300, how many replacements? Replacements are 75 on account of expansion. The question is given that it is 225. On account of expansion, we have 225 and the number of replacements, guys, are 75. Arrive at those ratios, guys. First, क्या method से करो बोल रहा है बेटा वो? Replacement method. सुबह से replacement method में, guys, you're going to write this is for the month of December, guys. For the month of December, guys, would mean 31 days. So this would be 75 divided by 1000 into 100. The ratio, guys, would be, you're supposed to write the entire formula in the examination. You cannot just leave it like this. You will write number of replacements divided by average number of workers multiplied by 100. Number of replacements are 75 divided by 1000 multiplied by 100. The ratio would be 7.5%. What will be the equivalent employee turnover rate? They've also asked us to compute equivalent turnover rate. I told you the other day, equivalent turnover rate arises only when the information given is for less than 1 year. Yahan pe beta you will write, they've asked us to take it in days, so it will be 365 divided by 31 days. 88.31%. 7.5%, guys, is for 31 days. We will have to proportionately calculate that for the entire year. And that beta will be equal to 88.31%. Are we clear about this? After this, guys, what's the next ratio to be computed? Separation method. Separation method के हिसाब से, guys, what are the total number of separations, guys, in the entire year? 100. 100 separations divided by 1000 multiplied by 100. What will be the ratio, guys? 10%. You will have to write 10% multiplied by 365 divided by 31. What will be the answer? कितना हो गया बेटा ये? 117.74%. Then guys, before we move on to flux method, you will also want to do accession method. Accession mein guys, you will take number of separations, total number of joinees guys, divided by average number of workers. It is mandatory that you do accession method if they've asked us to compute flux method. If you directly write only separation plus replacement in the examination, marks will not be given. So total number of joinees beta are how much? 300 divided by 1000 into 100. Accession mein you take total new joinees into consideration, both on account of replacement guys as well as expansion. ये हो गया 30%. Here guys we are going to write 30% into 365 divided by 31. 353.23%. I told you there are two flux answers guys. One's wherein you do not take joinees on account of expansion. The other one better wherein you take all new joinees into consideration. So flux method guys, if it is without new joinees on account of expansion. Without new joinees on account of expansion. In that case, better the formula would be what? Number of separations plus number of replacements divided by average number of employees. You will have to add separations and replacements. Number of separations guys are 100, number of replacements are 75 divided by 1000 into 100. This will become 17.5%. Equivalent rate कितना हो जाएगा? 206. With new joinees on account of expansion guys. With new joinees on account of expansion, you will have to write number of separations plus total joinees divided by average number of employees into 100. So here you will take replacements as well as new joinees on account of expansion. There are how many separations? 100. Total new joinees are 300 divided by 1000 into 100 beta, that will be 40%. And this would be 40% into 365 divided by 31. 470 point. This will be your flux. Something called as time keeping and time booking procedure guys. We have just one small question left, practical question, direct expenses, and then chapter khatam ho gaya beta. Huh? दो question अरे. So we have something called as time keeping and time booking beta. Time keeping का मतलब क्या होता है? Time booking का मतलब क्या होता है? Time keeping guys is basically maintaining a record of in time and out time of the employees of the organization. Time booking beta is maintaining a record of what are all the tasks that were performed by the employees whenever they worked. Time booking is required for the purpose of allocation of wages guys, and also as a for the purpose of controlling overall employee cost. It may happen that an employee is coming to the organization guys every day on time and leaving the organization on time, but what is he doing in the organization? Sitting idle. So if you just maintain in time and out time record and do not maintain a record of what are all the tasks that an employee is performing, you will never be able to exercise control over total employee cost. Of course, you will not be able to allocate wages as well. Every student comes at 7, leaves at 4:30. In time and out time is fixed, let's say as such, guys. But then, shouldn't there be time booking also? समझ में आ रहा ना क्या बोलना चाह रहा हूँ? Very good, guys. So as far as methods of timekeeping are concerned, guys, we have manual methods and automated methods. How do you think better organizations can keep a record of in time and out time? Huh? Manually is manually better. Automated is automated. Very good. So under manual better, they've given us about attendance register method. Entry time पे साथ बेटा, you will have a person sitting with the register. Whoever is entering the organization, guys, will maintain. Problem with this beta is that you bribe the person who's maintaining the register, guys, and you change it. Are we clear about it, guys? It's like attendance register में बेटा, couple of colleges में, हाँ, डिपार्टमेंट में भी होता, अच्छा हाँ, जहाँ पे भी बेटा, तो डीमार्ट में भी होता बोल के बोल रहा, तू देख के आया? स्टाफ के पास एंट्री के टाइम पे रजिस्टर रहता, हाँ ठीक है. सो कॉलेजेस में बेटा पहले इट यूज्ड टू बी लाइक दैट, इफ अ स्टूडेंट इज एब्सेंट दे विल नॉट मार्क एब्सेंट, दे विल जस्ट लीव इट एम्प्टी. एट द एंड ऑफ द मंथ साथ बेटा यू गो रिक्वेस्ट द लेक्चरर एज सच गाइस एंड देन यू प्रेजेंट ऑन ऑल द डेज. हो गया. That is how they do it. So attendance register method beta will have that problem. Metal disk or token method, guys. What is metal disk or token method? There's a token that has been assigned to every employee that has a unique number. All you have to do beta is at the time of entry you hand over that token to the person who's maintaining the attendance register. At the time of leaving the organization you take back your token. So the person who's maintaining the register, guys, will know who has entered the organization based on those token numbers, and they will hand it over back to the employees at the time of they leaving the organization. Again, let's say beta one friend goes and takes 10 tokens and submits it at the entrance. That is why they shifted to automated methods. Under automated methods, beta, the first one is punch card attendance. Punch card system, guys, is an ID card will be given to all the employees. Beta, they're supposed to swipe that ID card at the time of entry and at the time of exit, so that it automatically records the in time and out time. Again, one person can go, guys, and swipe the card for all of them at once. This is why they've introduced biometric attendance system. Biometric attendance system is using a physical characteristic of a person better that attendance will be recorded. It can be fingerprint, it can be your retina scan, guys, or anything, a scan, it can be anything. So uske basis pe, guys, attendance will be recorded. Different story, even fingerprints can be made, guys. But how Fevicol nahi re bhai, theek hai, jo bhi hai. See, guys, if you are more interested in all of these hacks as such, guys, you know what your life goals are better. There's no point in sitting in class and struggling so much. Please carry on with your activities elsewhere, guys. It will be easier rather than worrying about all of this. So these are the attendance maintenance systems, guys. Are we clear about this? Manual system and automated system. Under manual system, what are the methods? Yes, Meenakshi. What are the methods, beta? Attendance register method and token. Under automated methods, biometric system and punch card. Time booking का importance यहाँ है बेटा, that time booking is either for the purpose of costing or for the purpose of measuring efficiency or for fixation of responsibility. Fixation of responsibility मतलब क्या, guys? If there are no proper records being maintained as to who's doing what, everyone will only keep blaming the other person. They'll say I did my job on time, हो गया मेरा, सामने वाला नहीं करा, मैं क्या करूँ बोल के. Possible or not? So that is why, guys, it is important again that they maintain proper records. Are we clear about it? Understood the difference between timekeeping and time booking? Yes or no, guys? अगर holiday and leave wages है बेटा, क्या करोगे? What are holiday and leave wages? You go on a holiday and they pay you wages for that, huh? Leave with pay. Pay with leave मत बोलो, guys. The word is leave with pay. So leave with pay, guys, is basically where few employees are, matlab all the employees will be allowed certain number of leaves in the entire year. They will be paid for those leave undertaken. Wages will not be deducted. So if there are holiday and leave wages, what are we supposed to do with it? For us, हॉलीडे एंड लीव वेजेस अगर है, व्हाट आर वी सपोज टू डू विद इट? बाहर तू guys, holiday and leave are same, guys. For holiday you should not book, for leave we should kate. Guys, there are no two different terms, guys. Every time I think और क्या आंसर कर सकता बच्चा, क्रिएटिविटी पीक पे रहती. रिमेंबर टू बिन. मैं जिंदगी भर नहीं बोलूंगा बेटा. हाँ, अब बोल. हॉलीडे एंड लीव एक ही है, एंड दोनों पेड लीव ही है. We are not talking about unpaid leave as such, guys, because if it is unpaid leave, we are not paying, we will not record. ये doubt ही नहीं आना. Only if it is paid leave, guys, there is still some outflow from the organization, guys, but the employee is not working for the organization. So what do we do with this paid leave? Very good, beta. We have done it so many times, guys. There are so many questions in which the question says that the employee is going to avail so many leaves in a year. So you're supposed to adjust it, guys, to the remaining number of working hours. That is, it is included in the effective wage rate per hour, guys. This is one treatment. There's an alternative treatment that says it should be included. It can be included in overheads, but we all prefer including it in the computation of effective wage rate per hour only. Just even for contribution to PF, contribution to ESI, guys, it says that it can be included as an overhead. But we do not include it as an overhead. We prefer to include that as a percentage of, as a part of effective wage rate per hour. That is for direct workers. Indirect workers agar hai, guys, whether you include it or not in the computation of effective wage rate per hour, it doesn't make any difference, because their wages also will form part of overheads only. So whether you include it here or whether you directly include it as a part of overheads, it is not going to make any difference. Are we clear, guys? वैसे there's something called as night shift allowance. What is night shift allowance? The workers who are working in the night as such, beta, might be given an additional payment, a little higher salary as such, guys, than the people who are working during the daytime. What do we do with this night shift allowance? Again, if it is as a part of production policy of the company, guys, but obvious, just like overtime as such, beta, it should be included in effective wage rate per hour. If the company has to work 3 shifts, कोई ना कोई तो night time में काम करना ही पड़ेगा ना, option नहीं है. So that is why, guys, you will have to include it in the computation of effective wage rate per hour. The prima facie answer given in the material is that it can be included as a part of overheads. So if at all there's an MCQ, guys, or if at all they give it as a theory question, you will write prima facie for night shift allowance as overheads. But in reality, guys, it is not considered as an overhead. It should be included. Common sense use karo. You anyways have to incur it on a daily basis. So it is better to include it as a part of your effective wage rate per hour. Again, all of this would apply only if it is for direct employees. Indirect employees, does not matter what are you doing. In the end, it will anyways get included as a part of overheads only. Now, the last part of this chapter, guys, apart from direct employee cost, it also includes direct expenses. सिर्फ namesake introduce किए बेटा, there was no need for them to, because there was no topic that covered direct expenses. They had to introduce it somewhere. They introduced it as a part of your employee cost. How did I define direct and indirect expenses, guys, in the beginning? Direct expenses are those, guys, which can be directly related to the end product that is being manufactured. You can establish a direct relation between them, guys. It will be direct. If you cannot establish a direct relation, it will be indirect. Are we clear about this? We have elements of cost, guys: material, employee cost, and other expenses. Under each element, material, you will have direct and indirect. Under employee cost, you will have direct and indirect. Under other expenses also, you will have direct and indirect. We are done with direct material cost. We are done with direct employee cost. The last part that is there as a part of prime cost, beta, is direct expenses. Your prime cost comprises of sum total of 3 things. There is, this generation will know, right? DM matlab direct material, guys, direct wages, and direct expenses. Can you list a few examples of direct expenses, Ronak? क्वेश्चन पढ़ क्या शाना है, वो क्वेश्चन में देख रहा ना क्या क्या एक्सपेंसेस. अच्छा, तू ऑलरेडी कर लिया था. हाँ, Yes, beta. Machinery expenditure, guys, is direct expenditure. Can you tell me how is machinery expenditure direct expenditure? प्रोसेस में यूज हो रहा है बेटा, करेक्ट. सुपरवाइजर कहाँ यूज हो रहा है? प्रोसेस के बाहर. दूर से फोन पे वीडियो कॉल करके वो बोलेगा ऐसे कर बोल के, और वो सुपरवाइजर हॉलीडे पे, लीव पे नहीं. फराज, मोक्ष, can you list few examples of direct expenses? Factory rent, factory rent for machinery. Everything that he has mentioned, guys, is not a direct expenditure. कौन है रे टोल टैक्स? Guys, थोड़ा कॉमन सेंस यूज करो बेटा, अभी हवा में बात मत करो. Any expenditure that is incurred to bring the raw material to the place of factory should be included as a part of material cost. It cannot be included as a part of direct expenses. If you're incurring freight on purchase of raw material, or you're incurring toll tax, guys, all of that will be added to the cost of raw materials. It will not be included as direct expenses. Machinery, guys, is a vague term. You cannot just say machinery. Even if there is expenditure in respect of machinery, I told you that it is an indirect expenditure. It is not a direct expenditure. Why indirect expenditure, guys? You are not going to use machinery only for manufacturing one product, and plus the expenditure is not incurred on the product. The expenditure is being incurred on the machinery, guys. And it is apportioned on a reasonable basis, guys, to different products. The amount of depreciation that you calculate is never an accurate measure. It is only an approximate estimate, guys. So if you are incurring any repairs and maintenance of machinery, if you are incurring insurance, depreciation, jo bhi hai, all of that beta are prima facie indirect expenses. They are not direct expenses. और क्या बोला था? Factory rent. Will you be able to establish a direct relation, guys, between factory rent and the end product that you're manufacturing? See, all of this classification of direct and indirect will not make any sense if the company is manufacturing only one product. Because if that is the case, whatever you're incurring, guys, you know that it is being incurred for the single product. All of this would make sense when a company manufactures more than, and when I say more than one, guys, it does not mean it has to be a different category of a product. Can there be multiple variants of the same product? Can the cost allocation differ, guys, for all of those variants? Undoubtedly, yes. Factory rent can never be a direct expenditure. Again, it's an example of indirect expenditure. और क्या बोला था बेटा तू? Freight, machinery, factory rent. कामा? हाँ, कुछ तो बोला था ना. Machinery rent required for specific product. In case you are incurring, अब ये याद रखना, prima facie anything related to machinery, direct or indirect? If it is specific machinery, guys, then it becomes direct. When I say specific machinery, the machinery is being hired only for, so higher charges of a specific machinery, product specific machinery. Copy मत करना, सुन लो पहले. And आगे जाके cost sheet में पढ़ाऊंगा, guys, if they use the word lease rental or if they use the word hire charges. The word hire would mean that it is directly related to a single product. The word lease would mean that it is being commonly used for multiple products. ऐसा कैसा sir? Usually lease beta are long-term rental agreements. You will not be taking it for a specific product. That is why we will assume that it is an indirect expenditure. So higher charges of product specific machinery. Next, royalty payable on production. A classic example of direct expenditure. You know that it is directly related to a specific product only. You do not pay royalty, guys, for multiple products collectively. Yes or no, guys? Varat, सुन रहा है ना बेटा तू? तेरे बाजू, what's your name बेटा? I forgot. हाँ? दक्ष, एक बार मेरा होते कि रिवाइज करवाना बेटा. So, royalty payable on production would be an example of direct expenditure. Any other direct expenditure? हाँ? Product specific design. हाँ, వచ్చేసింది. Drawing కూడా ఉంది అక్కడ. చూసినావా? You thought of it. हाँ, third point, correct. ఇక్కడ కూడా third point only. अच्छा, I gave 3 points back then ना. ओहो, foundation first class here. अच्छा, so if there is any product specific design or software charges, guys, again that will come under direct expenses. If the organization has a design department that is incurring expenditure, guys, for all the products, then the apportionment of those design expenses will come under overheads. They will not come under direct expenditure. But if there are product specific designs, then it will come under direct expenditure. जैसे they can be product specific tools, guys. मोल्ड्स बनाते मालूम है ना, शेप आने के लिए. पार्ले जी पे ऊपर पार्ले जी लिख के आता, तो क्या लग रहा हो मशीन में खुद ही ऐसे आटा नीचे चले जाता, पार्ले ऊपर आता बोल के? नहीं ना, डाई बनाते उसकी, वो है. अब क्या बोलूं यार उसको मैं, समझ में? स्टैम्प नहीं मारते वो मोल्ड्स. छोड़ दो गाइस. So these are all examples just साथ बेटा of direct expenditure. आगे जाके we will be learning about something called as cost of utilities. In real life, utilities better like power, water are not considered as direct expenses. They are considered as factory overheads. There are certain cases where they can become. See, there is no general rule in reality that if this is the word, it should come under direct. If this is the word, it should come under indirect. Everyone goes by the nature of their production process, and then they decide whether a particular expenditure is direct or indirect. It is not that they have a fixed format and they have to fill in that format. Correct, Patil? समझ में आ गया? कौन है तेरे बाजू में? हाँ, बोला ना उसको. सर కొంచెం ఎక్కడక్కడ వెళ్తారా, లేదా ఇక్కడ వచ్చి కూర్చోండి. కమ్ కమ్, अरे अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे दोनों. So certain cases beta they can be power cost of these utilities like power, water, that will be included beta in direct expenses. Are we clear? Transportation cost of end product sent to another department. Distribution expenditure. Once a product is fully manufactured, guys, any transportation cost that you're incurring after that will come as a part of distribution expenditure. It does not come as a part of manufacturing cost only. If it is not manufacturing cost, there is no segregation of direct and indirect. Primary packaging, guys, comes under manufacturing expenditure, direct. Primary packaging. There are two types of packaging costs. One is primary, the other one is secondary. एक second सुनो बे. Do you know the difference between primary and secondary? तू बोल बेटा. और एक secondary. What is the difference? प्राइमरी पैकिंग स्टार्टिंग में पैक करने के लिए लगा दिए. सेकेंडरी पैकिंग सेकेंड टाइम जब पैक कर रहे हैं तब लगा. Any packaging that is required to ship the product from one location to another location, guys, is called as secondary packaging. जैसे the wrapper that you see on a chocolate or a biscuit pack, guys, primary or secondary? Primary packing. But that does not mean, guys, that you load all the trucks only with those biscuit packs directly. Do they use cartons to ship the product from one location to another? Those cartons become secondary packaging. Are we clear, guys? So anything that is required to store the product, guys, in a proper shape, proper condition will be primary packaging. But packaging that is only required to ship the product from one location to another location will become secondary packaging. Even the packaging of an iPhone as such beta will be termed as a primary packaging only. जो भी वो box में बेचते हैं, it will not be secondary packaging. Secondary packaging will be those additional cartons that they use. समझ में आया नहीं आया? Direct expenses. Primary packing is an expenditure that is directly identifiable with the end product, and that is why beta it will be counted as direct. But we will see, guys, that it is included after computing factory costs later. Reason is we do not include primary packing in valuation of work in progress. We have to include it only in the valuation of a finished product. When will you pack a product? Only if it is fully manufactured. That is why, guys, जब cost sheet बनाएंगे, it will not be included under direct expenses. It will be included at a later step, so that it should not affect the valuation of work in progress. It should affect the valuation of only finished product. All of these reasons I will give you later, better. Are you all done with it? Bill paid to job workers. You tell me. Direct or indirect? Direct. Job work का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? हाँ? For a specific job, if they work, it will be job worker. बाहर आओ रे बेवकूफो, ये कहां से सीखे रे तुम लोग? हर एक वर्ड को ऐसे डिवाइड करके आंसर बोलना. Job worker, guys, is wherein you, very good beta, you provide raw material to an external manufacturing agency and they will undertake manufacturing for you and then deliver the product to you. Subcontracting and job work में ये difference है. In subcontracting, they will only buy the raw material also, they will manufacture the product and deliver it to you. Under job work, the original manufacturer beta will have to provide raw material and someone else is undertaking manufacturing for them. You pay them job work charges. Majority of the biscuits, chocolates that you eat as such, guys, are all done on a job work basis. The factories are not owned by them. The factories are owned by other entities. They just provide raw material, they undertake manufacturing and give it back to them. Now, job work ke liye, if you're paying any charges, isn't that directly related to the product? Will that be a direct expenditure? Yes. The first one, guys, paid for power and fuel. हाँ, इसमें बहुत ambiguity रहता बेटा, but for our purpose, cost sheet के लिए it is considered as direct because it is considered as cost of utilities. Because it is cost of utilities, guys, it is considered as direct expenses. Real life power and fuel is not direct, it will be indirect. But अभी के लिए you will mark it as direct. Bracket में लिखना cost of utilities. Do not write in the material, guys. Write in your notebook. मैं नहीं लिख रहा हूँ बस. Wages paid to factory workers, guys. Direct or indirect? हाँ बेटा, direct. But it will be direct employee cost. So you will not include. Do not include in the statement and write a note that it is not direct expenditure, it is direct employee cost. So it should form part of direct wages, not as a part of direct expenses. ये भी direct ही है बेटा, but not as part of direct expenses. It should come as a part of direct wages, employee cost. Bill paid to job workers, direct expenditure. So you will include 4,80,000, you will include 9,66,000. Are we clear about this? Yes or no, guys? Royalty paid for production, will you include it? Fee paid to technician hired for the job. Administrative overheads is obviously not a direct expenditure. Commission paid to sales staff is selling overheads. So your total direct expenses, guys, you will have to add 4 things. What is the total? 15 lakhs, 50,600. Do not include direct employee cost. Are we all clear about this?